2021 recommendations. Well, sadly, I did not get that job, and nobody else called me. So I'm like still searching for a job, and my bills are coming up, and I'm freaking out. But now all I can do is just wait and pray for something, anything, and to get a job. I'm not picky. So my mental health struggles are really getting to me, and this filter I found didn't help my confidence either, to be honest. Moments such as this is when I wish I was better at writing for money issues, such as this. The yes section, Plan B. So this is a coming-of-age story about a girl going on an adventure to get Plan B because she had unprotected sex. Girls also really into anime, or at least 6 really popular anime, because they were naming them off like a checklist. As they mentioned, they have to have a little checklist of the popular animes they mentioned. What I don't understand is this girl pleases herself to a picture in like a male anatomy book, which is never really attractive at all, but in like a science type book while she has anime boys all over her room. Like, what are you doing, woman? A woman with terrible anger problems uses a little jolt of electricity to keep herself in check. Takes down a large corporation after she thinks her boyfriend, but not boyfriend, is murdered. Look away. This movie had a super creepy sexual overtone, almost ruined the whole movie. But anyways, this girl's reflection starts to twist her life into like chaos. The ending is like really up to interpretation and actually very confusing. Killing bites. Kind of like DNA in a way, but the animal hybrids fight off against each other. The opening scene scared me at first, but then the story quickly started after that, so that was cool. The movies that made a season 2, the second season of the docu-series that shows behind the scenes to popular movies. I love stuff like that. Words bubble up like soda pop. This adorable, sweet romance had me at the animation. I love animation like this. It's such a sweet story, and the animation feels perfect for this movie. It's just very well done. The Last Letter from Your Lover. This was a twist of 2 separate love stories that equal an ending to a decades-long love story that needs completion. This crap was so touching, I cried. Top Secret UFO Projects Declassified. This documentary series is so terrifying, to be honest. Aliens as a topic in general creeps me out, so Aftermath. This movie is a personal fear of mine. So like this couple moves into a house where they knew people died, were murdered actually, and they still moved in. So red flag number 1, then creepy things happen and they find out that there's a man living in the walls, which gives me all the chills. Oh, John DeLorean. The truth behind the DeLorean, that car from Back to the Future, yeah, it's more twisty than I originally ever would have thought. Masters of the Universe. Revelation. Back when She-Ra and the Princess of Power aired, I had hoped for a new take on He-Man as well, and they did it. They did get it for the most part, feeling more like a continuation of the old series, not a new revamp, so that's how I kind of feel about it. It doesn't seem like a reboot, it seems like a continuation. Adam gets taken out very fast, like I think in episode 1. Then we don't see him again until like the end of the season, so kind of a weird choice. It ends with Skeletor as Master of the Universe, so plot twist. Gunpowder Milkshake. This stylized assassin John Wick style movie was very fun to watch. An assassin saves a little girl and has to go up against her organization. How I Became a Superhero. More stories about superheroes, but in this, the drugs are being made to give temporary power. Beastars Season 2. I finally got to watch Season 2, and it did not disappoint. The characters are so well written that these animal problems are actually human problems as well. And with the show's dark themes, it makes everything so much more raw, and I love it. Dead Man Wonderland. An innocent boy gets sentenced to be at a prison where the suffering of others makes money and entertainment. It's pretty sad, actually. Rurouni Kenshin The Beginning. Last month, when I watched the final, I had a feeling there would be another. Because this takes place before the first movie now, which is now the second movie in the timeline. You learn the story about Kenshin and Tomoe, and more of Kenshin's life as the Batosai. Very good. I almost cried. Broken Hearts. This is a literally heartbreaking story. After a car crash, secrets about a group of foster kids is brought to life. The terrible fate of these kids. Fear Street Trilogy. As a big fan of the Fear Street series, and to be honest, everything R.L. Stine writes, the series was a treat. Actually, this has made me want to start collecting his books again. I had stopped collecting the Fear Street books. I think I'm going to start doing that again. Fear Street Part 1, 1994. I love the way they try to incorporate lots of his stories, and I think they established it very well. The series more or less is kind of based on the Fear Street saga. Like, I think it was 3 or 4 books, I can't remember, but it was like the betrayal, the burning, and then something else. About how the curse that was put on Fear Street and anything connected to the last name Fear happened. So I was already a little familiar with where it was kind of going, but, it's about the curse they put on Fear Street. I could pick out a few books that, like, this was messed with, like Cheerleader's First Evil and such, but I think they blended these movies together really well. And I think they blended a bunch of his stories together very well. Very good. I did hate all the attention given to the Shadyside Sunnyviller subplot, but I got used to it, and it kind of makes sense for this movie trilogy, but it's still a little much. Give me Greaser and Socia's vibes from The Outsiders. So, Sarah Fear, yeah, and they changed the spelling of her name, I believe, so it wouldn't be so on the nose as it used to be. The witch, but not actually, but you find out later, cursed the town, so serial killers are constantly appearing in every generation. Fear Street 2, 1978. This is my absolute personal favorite movie out of the 3, giving me nostalgic vibes for classic horror movies, also most bloody, to be honest. Fear Street Part 3. 1666. This is the movie where you find out all the truth behind the entire story. The biggest part being they were mostly accused of being a witch because they were gay. So they basically believe they were also evil and putting curses on people as well because, okay. After finding out the truth, they release the curse, or do they? Dun, dun, dun. I'm kidding. Because it ends with, like, someone grabbing the book, which I would have burned that book, but whatever. The Last Mercenary. I grew up on Jean-Claude Van Damme. And yes, my crush on him was extreme, and to this day, I still find him very handsome, as does my mother. But seeing him doing his little action comedy made me so happy. He honestly looks like he's having so much fun, and he's having the time of his life. It was so cute. Centaur World. Amazingly brightly colored with amazingly catchy songs. A horse and her rider get separated with the help of other centaurs. They get back to her world. I honestly found it hilarious and believe it has very good messages throughout the entire thing, and they left it on a cliffhanger, so I think we might get a season 2 if it was popular enough. Lodge. This movie went completely in the opposite way compared to what I assumed was about to happen. These kids go spend Christmas with their dad's girlfriend. They know she is a cult survivor, and because they hate her, they pull a prank on her based on her trauma. And she snaps and kills their dad, and basically seems to start her cultist ways over again with the children. To be honest, the kids deserve this prank. It was extremely cruel to mess with somebody's trauma like that, so they deserve it. The ones within, a bunch of streamers are kidnapped and forced to compete in different challenges for hopes of a lot of views or something, I forgot. But most of the boys are simp-worthy, so that's fun. The Gifted Season 2. I love this show when it originally came out. I will put my link for my review for Season 1 in the description, because I watched it when it was originally airing. But I just remembered, I never watched the second season. It's not as good as Season 2. I mean, it's not as good as Season 1, and I can see why it was canceled, or they just decided to not continue it. I think they did take on more than their budget could handle, sadly, and it's pretty obvious about that. Next, Equinox. I don't know. This was an amazing experience. The story reminded me of the Avatar: The Last Airbender a little bit. Just the vibe you would get from it. A boy is chosen by the gods to save mankind. Simple storyline, but with good characters and beautiful animation, it gives a much deeper feel. Memories of a Murderer. The Nielsen tapes. This month's Netflix murder documentary. I really feel like they put one of these out every month, and I love it. So, Eden, a show about robots raising a human child in a world overrun by robots. Kind of ended with a cliffhanger, but whatever, I guess. Palms, an elderly woman dying of cancer decides to go to a retirement community and wants to make her childhood dream of being a cheerleader come true. I think it's really inspiring that you're never too old to complete your dreams. Madoka Magicka. I think I probably said all that wrong. I honestly thought this would be a cute magic girl show. I mean, it is, but it's also like really dark for no reason. Like, it looks so cute, you don't expect such dark themes. Deep. A group of people take part in a sketchy sleep experiment where you stay awake for long periods of time. Couldn't be me, because I can't stay up past like 11, and I like to go to bed at 9 because I'm always sleepy. Andy Mack. I loved this show so much when it first aired, and I finally got back to it and completed it. This Disney show handles so many topics well, and to me it stands as the best example of representation that Disney has made so far. So I would recommend it. Vivo! This movie really put me in the feels, and the music was so good. After the monkey's owner dies, he travels to Florida to give the love of his owner's life the last song so she can sing it. It was so sweet, man. The Swarm. A woman that farms grasshoppers or locusts or something starts feeding them blood to make them stronger. This backfires, of course, and they become a swarm of man-eating bugs. Turner and Hooch. As a fan of the original movie, I gave this a shot only because I saw Josh Peck was in it, which I grew up watching on Drake and Josh, as most people did. Still one of my favorite shows of all time. So far, it's pretty good. And it kind of has the vibe of a sequel, but kind of not sure yet. But it's pretty good. The Paper Tigers. This movie fed into my love for old-style action movies, and I loved it. I also found this movie hilarious. 3 older fighters take on the younger fighters in their town. X-Men Evolution. I revisited one of my childhood favorites, mostly for my love of the X-Men, and for the nostalgic vibes. This show is still incredible, and I recommend all watching of it. I also unlocked a forgotten crush from my childhood, Lance, aka Avalanche. I see my type hasn't changed much at all.
Get in the picture?
No, you're just like some freak. Leave me alone.
You can run, but you can't hide. Because I'm gonna rock your world. Let's party.
Okay. Misha and the Wolves. This documentary was wild, and I recommend watching it, and I don't want to spoil it. Just trust me, it's worth it. Sankaria, Undying Love. A boy obsessed with zombies brings his cat back to life, then also brings a girl back to life, who he catches feelings for. So a zombie love story. I found this story really super cute, actually. Dragon Goes House Hunting. This wholesome, adorable anime is about a dragon finding a house. And it's so cute, and the dragon is so cute and adorable. This show's hilarious in every way. I love it. Irawabi, School for Girls. I think I said that right. A girl is bullied by basically the entire school, and honestly, I don't blame this girl for wanting revenge. But this show even made the bullies well written. Like, I felt bad for the bullies at one point. Cabinari of the Iron Fortress. I believe that's how you said that. It's been a while since I watched this. I forgot the pronunciation. A boy in the world basically overrun by zombies. They're called something else, but they're basically zombies. Cabinari are half human, half zombies, and they're the greatest weapon behind the zombie curse. Meh section. Delivered. A woman is kidnapped because another woman wants her baby. It's honestly freaking terrifying. Other Side Picnic. To be honest, I don't remember a lot from this show because I watched this at the very beginning of like the month, so I really don't remember it, but I do remember that the monsters were called Wiggle Waggles, which I thought was cute. The Sweet Blood. Every vampire show you've ever seen, to be honest, but this one's a Korean drama style one. Something about the blood of a special person, and then it's a love story connected to it, and yeah. I have nothing in the nose section, so that's very good. Hi. I don't do little vloggy style things anymore, or I haven't in a while. I plan to eventually, so I don't really show my face anymore, but whatever. But anyway, I just had a horrible week and another amazing life lesson. And I've learned, don't lend too much money out to people, family or not. Don't let anyone have money from you. Just don't do it. It sounds like a good idea. Just don't. Help people in need. But don't put yourself in a bind first, and I didn't think about that part. So I just thought that'd be a fun little lesson from me. Yeah. Help only if it's not gonna put you in a bind. If it is, say no.
Finish him!